What if I told you that the Japanese have been using a 400-year-old technique to completely eliminate anxiety, and that most people have never even heard of it? It's called Nanakorobi Yaoki, and by the end of this video, it will change how you see every challenge in your life. Stay with me. Look, I know you're here because something in your life feels heavy. Maybe it's anxiety that won't let go. Maybe you keep falling short of your goals. Maybe you feel like every time you stand up, life just knocks you back down again. I've been there. And I spent years searching for answers in therapy, self-help books, meditation apps, you name it. But nothing hit quite like this ancient Japanese philosophy I stumbled upon. Nanakorobi Yaoki. 7 falls, 8 rises. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But when you truly understand what it means, not just intellectually but in your bones, it becomes the most powerful weapon against anxiety you could ever have. So here's what we're covering. The origin story of this technique, the science that proves why it works, the exact 3-step system to apply it, and a challenge that will test if you're ready to embody this philosophy. If you're serious about building unshakable inner strength, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to share goes deep. Alright, let's begin Chapter 1, The Origin, where Nanakorobi Yaoki comes from. To understand Nanakorobi Yaoki, we need to go back to feudal Japan, a time of samurai, honor, and brutal survival. Life back then wasn't about comfort. It was about endurance. It was about facing death, failure, and loss, and still finding the will to stand. The philosophy is often represented by the Daruma doll. You've probably seen these round red figures with intense eyes. They're designed to always return upright when knocked over. No matter how hard you push them, they bounce back. That's not just a toy. It's a teaching. But here's what most people do not know. Nanakorobi Yaoki wasn't created by warriors or monks. It was born from everyday people. Farmers who lost entire harvests, merchants who went bankrupt, mothers who buried children. These were people who had every reason to quit, to give up, to let despair win. But they didn't. They developed a mindset that said, if I fall 7 times, I will rise 8. Think about that math for a second. 7 falls, 8 rises. That means you always rise 1 more time than you fall. It's not about never falling, it's about the guarantee that you will always get back up. That's not optimism. That's a declaration of war against defeat. This became a way of life, woven into Japanese culture, art, martial arts, even business. It's why Japan rebuilt itself after World War II. But somewhere along the way, the West forgot this wisdom. We became obsessed with winning, with never falling in the first place. And that's where our anxiety comes from. Chapter 2. The Anxiety Trap. Why we're afraid to fall. Let's talk about why you feel anxious. And I mean the real reason, not the surface stuff. Modern society has sold us a dangerous lie, that failure is permanent. That if you fall, you're done. Your reputation is ruined. Your dreams are over. Everyone will judge you. You'll never recover. Social media makes it worse. We see everyone's highlight reel, their wins, their perfect lives, and we think we're the only ones struggling. So when we do fall, when we lose the job, when the relationship ends, when the business fails, we don't just feel bad. We feel broken. We feel like we're the exception, like everyone else has it figured out except us. And that's where anxiety takes root. Because anxiety isn't actually about the present moment. It's about the fear of a future fall. It's your mind saying, what if I fail? What if I can't get back up? What if this time I don't recover? But Nanakorobi Yaoki flips that entire script. It says, falling is guaranteed. You're going to fall. I'm going to fall. Everyone falls. The question isn't if. The question is, what happens next? And when you internalize that, when you truly accept that falling is part of the process, the anxiety starts to dissolve. Because suddenly, failure isn't this catastrophic event. It's just Tuesday. It's just one fall on the way to the 8th rise. And that shift in perspective? That's freedom. Chapter 3. The Science. Why this actually works. Now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds nice, but is there actual science behind this? Yes, absolutely yes. There's a concept in psychology called resilience, And modern neuroscience has proven it's not a trait you're born with. It's a skill. And it's built through a process called stress inoculation. Here's how it works. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, your brain literally rewires itself. It strengthens the neural pathways associated with problem-solving, emotional regulation, and adaptive behavior. It's like going to the gym, but for your mind. The more you fall and rise, the stronger those pathways become. But here's the key, and this is where Nanakorobi Yaoki is genius. It's not just about rising, it's about the expectation that you will rise. When you internalize this philosophy, you're training your brain to see challenges differently. Instead of triggering the amygdala, the fear center, challenges start activating the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking and planning. There's also research on growth mindset by psychologist Carol Dweck. She found that people who believe their abilities can develop through effort, people who see failure as temporary, they achieve more, they're happier, and they handle stress better. Nanakorobi Yaoki is the ultimate growth mindset. It's not, I might bounce back. It's, I will bounce back, it's already decided. And when your brain believes that at a core level, anxiety loses its power. Okay, so we understand the philosophy and the science. Now let's get tactical. How do you actually use Nanakorobi Yaoki when you're in the middle of a crisis, when anxiety is crushing you, when you feel like you can't get up? I'm going to give you a 3-step system that I use every single day. And I promise you, if you apply this consistently, your relationship with failure and anxiety will transform. Step 1. Acknowledge the fall. First, you have to acknowledge that you've fallen. This sounds obvious, but most people don't do it. They either deny it, I'm fine, everything's fine, or they catastrophize it, my life is over. Neither helps. Instead, simply say, I have fallen. This is fall number X. Name it, own it. The act of acknowledgement takes away its power to hide in the shadows of your mind. So if you lost your job, don't say, I'm a failure, say, I lost my job, this is a fall. What's my next rise? You're framing it as a temporary event, not a permanent identity. Step 2. Extract the lesson. Second, ask yourself, what is this fall teaching me? Because here's the truth, every fall carries information. Maybe it's showing you a weakness you need to strengthen. Maybe it's revealing a path you shouldn't be on. The Japanese believe that failure is a teacher, not an enemy. So treat it that way, sit with it. Ask, what do I need to learn from this so I don't fall the same way again? And then, and this is crucial, write it down. Make the lesson tangible. When my first business failed, I was devastated. But when I looked back, I realized I ignored all the warning signs because I was afraid to pivot. That lesson, trust your instincts and be willing to change course, has saved me more times than I can count. Step 3. Rise with intention. Third, and this is where the magic happens, you rise with intention. You don't just get up, you get up differently, you get up smarter, you get up stronger. Ask yourself, how do I want to rise from this? What does the 8th rise look like for me? But here's the non-negotiable part. You must rise, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, even if it's a small step, even if it's just sending one email, making one phone call, doing one push-up, the rise doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to happen. Because the moment you rise, even shakily, even imperfectly, you've already won. You've proven to yourself that you keep your promises. And that builds the unshakable inner strength we're talking about. Chapter 5. The challenge. Are you ready? All right, we're almost at the end. But before we finish, I want to give you a challenge. One that will reveal whether you're serious about embodying Nanakorobi Yaoki, or if this is just another video you watch and forget. Here it is. I want you to identify one area of your life where you've fallen and haven't gotten back up yet. Maybe it's a dream you abandoned. Maybe it's a relationship you need to repair. Maybe it's a habit you keep failing at. Write it down. Right now. Pause this video if you need to. Got it? Good. Now here's the challenge. Within the next 48 hours, I want you to take one intentional action toward rising in that area. Not a big action, not a perfect action, just one step that says, I'm choosing to rise. And if you do it, if you actually follow through, I want you to come back to this video and leave a comment that says Fall 7, Rise 8, with one sentence about what you did. Because when you publicly declare your rise, you cement it, you make it real, and you inspire others to do the same. This is how we build a community of people who refuse to stay down, who choose strength over comfort, who embody Nanakorobi Yaoki. Look, life is going to knock you down. That's not pessimism, that's reality. You're going to face rejection, loss, failure, pain. But the question that defines your life isn't, will I fall? It's, will I rise?